Alright guys, on this episode of Oli Oli Paints, we're going to go ahead and spray J4 from Ford. I'm going to run through spot sealing and a couple of other little techniques to keeping things tight. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, and like I said, I'm going to spot seal this repair. This is prepped all the way to 800 grit and gray Scotch-Brite. The reason I'm going to spot seal is because this color matches best over black. All right. So basically what I'm going to have to do is get all of this sprayed black first. Could have used black primer, but we don't need to. Okay. I would have sealed this edge anyway just to ensure that my new fender matches, because I'm going to spray that with black sealer first too. So I'm going to go mix up some black sealer. We'll come back in the booth. I'll give you guys kind of some tricks on how to keep this as tight as you can and show you how I spot seal, what I use to kill the edge and all of that. So let me go get my giddy up on and get some sealer mixed up. All right, so I've already got this panel clean. I've got my black sealer mixed up. I'm going to just use my Iwata Kiwami 4 for this. For the spot sealing section, I am going to drop my pressure down to about 18 psi. My parts, I'll probably spray at, I don't know, 24, 25. But I'm going to use a little bit lower pressure on this because it's going to be a little bit less overspray, because I'm trying to keep it just in this area. I'll bring you guys in a little bit closer. I'm going to tack rag this real quick and then we'll get some sealer spraying. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to set this to about 18 psi. So like that. Down in my pocket. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to aim my gun that way. I want to avoid this edge at all costs. I just want to keep it tight. I'll probably just let go of the trigger and just throw everything down that way. I'm trying to keep it just localized to this repair area. I will seal this top edge again just so it matches that fender. So let's go ahead and do it. Like that. Now, if you were to just leave this edge how it is, that can kind of outline in your color. So this is how I kind of kill that edge. This is just US Tour reducer. I'm going to just lightly spray it over this edge and it's just going to soften it. So then when I spray my base, it doesn't leave a line. A lot of guys are saying, well, can't you just spray blender over that? And yeah, you can when it's dry, but I want to do this when it's wet so I don't have to worry about the edge at all. Remember, I spray waterborne. I can't spray waterborne over this sealer while it's wet. I have to let it dry, so that's why I use reducer. That's it. It does not take much. I use a 1.0 minigun. I mean, that's it. Now that edge is nice and softened. You don't want to lay it super heavy. You just want to use a little bit slower reducer. This is like a warm weather reducer, just so it takes a while for it to evaporate and it really softens that edge. A lot of the rattle can stuff that you get evaporates almost immediately, and I found that that really doesn't do the job. It always leaves the edge there. So I like using reducer. Never had a problem with it. Do it on a small spot if you're going to try it. This works great with this Sherwin P30, but if you use a different system, please, for the love of God, try it on a small section. Don't go and just do it on a large area like this right away, because if something happens, I warned you. It won't happen with P30, but anything else, I can't verify it. All right, so now when we look at this, if you look at that back edge right here, see there's no black overspray, no nothing. Kept it all nice and neat on this front edge. I also went ahead and sprayed sealer on these two parts. Figured I wouldn't bore you with that. Like I said, new fender, new bumper. So I'll turn you guys back on once I have base coat in the gun, and we'll run through kind of my wet on wet process, I guess, with 9K. And I'll show you how to do wet on wet blends, because it's fairly simple. I mean, there's not much to it. So let me go mix some base. All right, so now this is nice and dry. I'm gonna just do one quick coat of base coat blender, dry that, and then we'll get into blending this color out. It'll go really, really fast. It's pretty simple process. So let me get a coat of blender on this, and then we'll get some color out. All right. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and dehydrate this, and then we'll blend our color. And so many guys are always confused about this layer. This is just clear base coat. I know it looks blue or purple. It's just clear base. You don't have to worry about it. Dries perfectly clear. All right, so let's go ahead and spray some color on this. Like I said, this is paint code J4. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to aim this way, keeping it tight. Try not to see a whole lot of blue on this back tape. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to do one pass. Stepped out as far as I want it to go. I'm going to kind of reverse blend it. So I'll go out a little ways, and then that second pass, when I come back, I'll go in a little bit tighter. So I'll go a little past my sealer for the first one, and then I'll come pretty much back to that sealer edge, if that makes sense. Just watch. First one. Okay, so that was my first coat. I'm going to step it in. All right. So notice that doesn't look right at all. Once this dries, I promise you this is going to get better. This stuff, being waterborne base, it just sprays on super blue, super purple. Once it flashes off, you'll see it looks nothing like this. But I did get just a touch of overspray back here, not enough to where it's going to change my panel to panel. But I'm pretty all right with this, because it's inevitable when you're trying to blend. Even though I was aiming that way, you're going to get a little bit on this back edge, but that I can live with. Yeah, you can kind of sort of see this stuff starting to dry, but all of this was sprayed wet on wet. You could tell that this stuff it's on there pretty wet. So let's go check out the other panels. I sprayed these the exact same way as to match perfectly. So what I'm going to do is go hit our flash cycle, which is going to ramp up the temp in here. It'll go to about 105 degrees Fahrenheit, and get this stuff to dry. And then we'll come in, control coat it, flash it for probably 5 minutes, and then we can go ahead and clear coat all of this. All right, so this is fully dehydrated. I know it looks like a mess because you can see where I stopped. That's what this last control coat is for. So we'll smooth out all of this little weird halo that we got going on here. And then I'll show you what it looks like. But yeah, this is all totally silky, totally dehydrated. I've got all of this stuff done too. See, super silky, super nice. I love what this base coat looks like when it's just matte. Probably my favorite part, but let me go ahead. I've got to go mix up a little bit more paint, and then we'll get this stuff control coated, and I'll smooth out this tight blend that I got going on here. So now it's time to get rid of this little halo that we got going on here. This is just a result of having to do it wet on wet, and there being a matting agent in this color. This is glossy, my new paint isn't. That's why there is a really pronounced line. So let's go ahead. A control coat just orients all of the pearls and metallics. Okay, it just smooths everything off. And that's going to help me to kind of smooth this edge out. So I'm going to drop my pressure. I sprayed all of my coverage coats at about 24 psi. I'm going to spray these at about 17. So it's going to be a little bit lower overspray as well. So I'm going to keep it as tight as I can. If I get a little bit like this, I'm not real bothered. I know that because I made my spray out card that the color match is great. So if it's a little bit oversprayed on this end, we'll be fine. Okay. And I don't know if you guys could tell, but I was really feathering the trigger. I wasn't just going full bore with it. And that kind of just helped me to easily hide this blend. I'm going to let it dry and then I'll show you guys what this looks like. We'll just throw a coat of base coat blender over the whole thing just so you guys can really see it. It'll gloss up everything. But yeah, that all looks awesome. So let me get this all dry. I'll bring you guys back. We'll spray a coat of blender over it and we'll see what it really looks like. All right, that's nice and dry. So we're going to do a coat of base coat blender over the whole thing. This way we can actually see what our blend looks like. All right, so I'll dehydrate this. And that's just going to gloss up the whole panel. So if I can see the blend, I can fix it before I spray clear coat on it. We'll also shut the lights off, go grab the color light too. We'll just check every which way we can. All right, so this has just been glossed up a little bit. I can't see anything, any obvious color difference. So let's go ahead. I'm going to grab my color light. We'll hit it with that and see what we think. I also control coated all of this stuff the same way. It's nice and silky. Ready for clear. This color is just sweet, man. All right, as usual, my color match light of choice is Match Gun. That's the part number if you guys are interested. These things are friggin' awesome. Yeah, man, I'm ready to clear that. That looks really nice. As I said, there's just a teeny tiny bit of overspray on this back tape. Nothing up top. So we kept it as tight as we could. I'm gonna go ahead and give this about 5 minutes. We'll come in here, clear coat it, and be done with this one. All right, guys, here's the fun part. Let's go ahead and clear this. This is all nice and dry. It's been sitting in here for about 10 minutes. So yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna do 2 coats of clear. Nothing special. I mean, you guys have seen me do this a million times, so let's go ahead and get into it. All right, we'll wait about 5 minutes, hit it with coat number 2, and that's it. This looks awesome. I mean, that blend's totally invisible. Yeah, gotta love this color. All right, let me go do these other 2 parts, and then we'll take a close look at this. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me in today's video. If you guys learned something, let me know in the comments section if there's something that you want more in-depth videos on. Again, let me know in the comments section. Pretty dang happy with how this job came out. The gloss on this thing's crazy, and that color it's so rich. I love it. All right, guys, here's 2 coats of clear. See that all of this looks pretty much perfect. Go look at our parts over here. Everything over here is looking nice and clean as well. Super duper happy with this. Bumper looks super glossy. Yeah, really happy with that. And boy, does this color just pop. It's so rich. Like the side tone of it is so red. I love it. Let's go get one more look at this door. Yeah, you can see the reflection on that thing. Just phenomenal. Consider hitting that subscribe button and liking the video. By liking the video, it helps me to kind of get out into the algorithm and really like get this channel to grow. If you guys are interested in any of the tools and some of the products and stuff you've seen in this video, check out the link tree that's in the description down below. I've also got links to my Amazon storefront that has different spray guns, different blocks, different tools, things like that, detailing stuff, all kinds of good stuff. So definitely check that out. And until next time, thank you for hanging out with me and thank you for watching.